Happy Thursday. Good morning, everybody. Today is going to be super fun, a little messy, but that's okay. We're going to be doing a cool science project. We're going to be making mud in the kitchen. We can make it outside too if it warms up a little bit later, but it's still really early, so I'm going to do it inside, and it's going to be really fun. All right, I'm going to show you everything we need for today. We're going to need 3 containers. I'm using Tupperware containers. We need dirt for each container, dirt on the side just in case we want to use a little bit more. Water. We need a measuring spoon, a measuring cup, a spoon, a magnifying glass if you want. And I'm using a pen and paper because we're going to make a little chart because we're going to make predictions on how much water we need to make mud. All right, so I've got 3 containers filled with dirt. I've got number 1, which doesn't have that much dirt in it. Number 2, which I put the most dirt in. And number 3, I put medium amount of dirt in. I've got my chart lined up because we're going to make some predictions. I've got a measuring cup, I've got a spoon, I've got a pitcher of water, and I got a magnifying glass. Now over here, I have some dirt. And what is this? This is mud, right? Can anybody tell me how I made this dirt mud? What happens when we go outside? When we play with water and dirt outside, do we make mud, right? So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna be taking this solid dirt and we're gonna be making it into a liquid, mud. All right, so let me set up the computer and we're gonna make predictions together, write them out, and then we'll do our project. Okay, so we're almost all set to go, start making our mud, but I have a few things to talk about first. So we also have to do our predictions, but before that, what do we know? We were learning about insects last week and we were learning about worms this week and slugs. Where do they like to live? Can anybody tell me? Don't they live in the mud? Don't they like to live in the mud? Some moist soil. So I was thinking that once I make all of this mud, I can go put it outside so I make a new habitat and help out my worms, my slugs, my insects. So I want to start writing down our predictions. So for number 1, I didn't put that much soil in this one, right? So how many of these cups, of these measuring cups, do you think we need to put in here to make thick, gooey mud? Like thick enough to make bricks out of, because you know people make their homes out of mud too. I'm gonna say 1 of these will make this thick and gooey. So I'm gonna write number 1, 1. And it's okay if I'm wrong. We're gonna go back and we're gonna check our predictions and we're gonna write down what was needed. So number 2, there's a lot of dirt in here. So I'm gonna say 3 cups of water. And number 3 has medium. I'm gonna say 1.5 cups of water. All right, so now it is time to start our project. So I'm gonna do 1 cup in the number 1. I've got my chart all filled out. 1 cup of water in the number 1. And I'll wait to stir it so you guys can see. Okay, I just poured it in and I'll switch my camera. Okay, so this is number 1 with 1 cup of water in it. So I am going to stir, stir, stir. And you see how it's becoming a solid? It's changing, right? Oh wow, I think we did a perfect amount of water in this one. It's getting thicker. You see now? It's stickier. Here, let me do this really fast. some great mud. Okay, so I think we did the perfect amount in the number 1 mud bucket. So we said 3 cups for the number 2, right? So this is number 2. Let's do our 3 cups of water. One, 2, 3. All right, let's see. A lot of water in here. See how it's still. All right, it's getting a little thicker. You hear it? See? Oh, this one's definitely more liquidy than the other one. So maybe we put a little bit too much water, but that's okay. It still turned into a liquid. It's just not as thick of mud as mud bucket number 1. Okay, and so for number 3, we have said 1.5 cups of water. 1.5. All right, let's stir it up. I think this one's gonna be the thickest. I have a prediction. The dirt down and make some more mud out of it. Oh yeah. Maybe still number 1 is the thickest. I think I've overshot with all of my water. So by this science project, I've learned that we don't need that much water to make mud, because I used, even though there was the least amount of dirt in here, I used the least amount of water and it made the thickest amount of mud. All right, so we have turned all of the solid dirt into liquid, right? Mud, mud, mud. And this is what it looked like before. Alrighty, so we made all of our solid dirt into liquid, right? We made mud out of all of that dirt. We predicted different amounts of water for each different mud bucket, and it all became a liquid. But what was different? Some mud was thicker and some mud was thinner, but they all were different types of mud. So a few other things you could do today to have a little bit more fun with this mud is you could add objects from outside into it, make it even a little bit more thicker, make it maybe its own little habitat, and hopefully some worms or some slugs, insects could come and live there once you put it outside. Or you could make, like I said earlier, how people make homes out of mud, because bricks, you can make your own little home outside and see how it lasts within the next few days. Maybe it'll last through some wind and some rain, we'll see. But now it's your turn to do your own science project at home. Make predictions with how much water you're gonna put in. You should put different sizes of mud in each container. And take your time, look at it, observe, be our little scientist that we know you are, and let me know how you do. Alrighty guys, I can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye.